house tore down.
Yeah. Picture.
Anybody living in anything?
Oh, yeah.
Fell.
That was from, you know,
Where
limbs that went over
Uh-huh.
and hit it. I don't know. Are they? What happened to the, Henry Ona's probably dead.
He died.
That was the only design flaw. Now there's very typical. Here we are 4 months later, and look at that house back there. Well, we had a tree here. That's where the see the black dirt. 18 years old.
Wait a
There's
minute, what did
a big tree here. It just wasn't strong enough. And these trees all blew down, but they blew off. Martin, there was not one green leaf on anything. If it had leaves, they were brown. They were turned brown from the salt spray, and that was the eeriest looking thing. It looked like a nuclear holocaust. They were in the house.
They were in the house?
This tree.
Well, part of it.
What happened to those stick was too small. What happened to those people?
Well, the house, that house was damaged very badly, and they ended up, they're going to rebuild it, but they just kind of dismantled it. They took it all apart, and it wasn't, it's not like that all that blew away, okay? It looks worse than it was, although it was total. I mean, the house is total. They were in their house, and their roof blew off, their ceilings collapsed. They were in the closet with a mattress over their head to keep them, you know.
She in the closet all the time.
We should get in the closet.
Is that the...
Look, nobody living there.
What did he do?
There it is. They just walked away from it. Now, these houses...
Why do you have to put prices on it?
Because there were no house numbers, no street signs. Look at that, it's just open. Now they were renting, so they just... Now these houses had water in them from the canal that rose up. And I'll show you down at the end. Reinman was here during the hurricane. This policeman knew he was going to die. He said, I just knew I was going to die. He still hadn't put it.
Did he die?
No, he didn't. These homes down here, the people that live...
Where is the policeman?
This is a garage I can't see.
No.
No.
It's a full trash can.
Well, there's a car in there now.
Well, these people that rented that, we take care of their girls in the afternoon, but they haven't done a thing in there. That house is just, I don't know if you can look.
Yeah, right. I can see it through the, Huh.
Did it still live there?
No. But the ones that got hit the worst.
Did they ride it out?
And also one of these right across. Now, you know, the water came down the canal, and then you see what happens to the canal. It splits and goes. I'll show you houses where it blew off the whole second story of the house. These people haven't done a blooming thing.
Did I put a wall blew out?
Yeah, see on the roof? Look where it blew half the roof away. See that house still doesn't have the glass in the windows. If you look carefully, you'll see that it's one of the pieces of good ones for you. And a rock. The whole wall, look at the house. Well, this is the one I'm going to show you. Look at this.
That is real.
Yeah, this one had this was a two-story home, and the whole second story blew off. Look, there's nobody. It's all gone. And the stuff is still in the kitchen. Unless they take them out in the pantry, they still have the stuff all in there. Look at that house.
All this stuff.
This one's
Did you
completely...
that?
Look at that one, guys. See it?
Look at that one. That was the worst. Did you see the back?
It's just... That's it. See the input of the hole? Just couldn't take it. Wait, here's a good one. Look at that, guys. If you were staying in that house, hurricane hit. Their furniture's still up there, but the wall fell down.
Oh my, oh
Now, the problem is,
my.
Did you miss that house?
there's not enough roofers in the state of Florida to put all the roofs on.
Oh, they're now you have to be licensed, of course, in Dade County to do
Yeah.
any work. Is that being expedited or?
Well, they're trying to, but they're really making it very hard for a lot. Dade County is very embarrassed because they're under criticism for not for lax enforcement of code and all kinds of.
Yeah.
Wait, remember the Colonial Drive Publix up here?
Yeah.
Dad, you know your damn
Wait till you see it.
That the courthouse you had. You had that.
What about?
Half of the roof was torn,
Oh no.
and nothing else was bad.
Well, this is where we used to do a lot of shopping up here. Have you been down on the road to Cutler Ridge?
No.
Half the stores are not there. Now they had like a tornado or something that came through
Oh
here.
my gosh, look at that.
This was Eckerd's. This was in the news. This was one of the ones they put in the news. And the whole ceiling and everything is just collapsed. I mean, it's.
What was the name of that store? What's that store?
Can you believe this? It's just nothing.
I'll have to circle around.
That is grocery store. What was a grocery
So
store?
they're not going to rebuild.
Look at that roof. Watching this guy.
Yeah.
Look on.
Look at that. That was Eckerd's.
Huh.
The sign of Eckerd's.
Yeah.
I thought this was not going to rebuild.
Well, the funny thing is the one in Saga Bay.
That one in Saga Bay.
I give you a quickie tour here.
This is U.S.
Yeah.
Disoriented. I know down this
Wow, look at that sign. It has like.
Look at the park. Miami Acura. You should have seen the pictures of that. That place. That place was. Well, I'll show you. From here on down. I mean, this is just Deadsville. I'm surprised they're still. Look at that. They're still selling cars. Guys, this was all, you know, everything is, look at all the stores down the wrong side of the highway.
That was pretty damaged.
Yeah, that's a new one. Yeah, that's Checkers. This is it's just unbelievable. You'll believe me. All these stores, 100% of it.
Did you see that one? Daddy, this one.
Don't worry. There's plenty to take this place. Martin, you don't know how much improved it is. This is 4
That's
months
hard.
later.
Yeah, that is hard to believe.
The Zen Mazda. I'll show you a real pretty brand new Zen Mazda. Look at it. Yeah.
Jeez, jeez. It'll probably take about a year.
About 2 years, maybe.
Remember my friend Ed Clark?
Yeah.
Ed Clark. They're rebuilt the
Where was that?
Well, it blew across. The friend owns this building right here.
Head Clark?
Yeah.
What was he doing?
That's almost some of it here.
That was worse. Did you see that plastic?
Looks like the subs is over. This thing got wiped out.
What is it?
survive. Real cute things that said skylights by. But that Publix is open. See the angle? Those stores on that side didn't get it as bad evidently as these.
Why did they get as bad as those?
That angle didn't get it too badly.
White.
John, are you asleep?
Look at the people, all their toys and everything are still there.
See? TV.
I don't see
So,
TV.
no, microwave. That's a microwave.
Now look at that one. I have one of these.
The end, see the gable end collapsing up there? Look at all those.
That's the first.
Those are still empty. Look, well, I see a couple of cars there. Brave souls.
I guess the electricity's not restored? Or?
I guess they've got electricity, but in some cases that's a problem. Incredible. Look at this. The windows are all gone. It's like a...
One has a bottle in it.
Up in,
Yeah. I feel it's still up.
You're looking, guys, you're looking into the people's apartments. All that just all blew away.
now, did people evacuate from this area?
They were all supposed to evacuate. Cars over there, see them? With their hoods up and everything, they've all been twisted and damaged.
Their doors are open.
Look, all these over here, these cars sitting here.
The door was brought up.
Yeah. Sagamay was like country walk in a way. Country walk is right. And the rule is these ones over here that are damaged, if they have not been elevated like these, they can't rebuild them if the damage is more than 50%.
Where are all these persons coming from?
Well, most of to Orlando, they moved to Fort Lauderdale.
They moved near Nickelodeon Studio. Get that one on there. Dad!
I am,
Boy, that was really slaughtered, isn't it?
Dad! Some of the houses not...
It's still a mess.
Mom, wait.
Burger
Just
King.
close up the window.
Balloons. Most of them collapsed.
It looks like that guy just left his... Hey, look at that! A tree house. It looks like that. Dad, get that one.
You have to... Where have they gone? I mean, do they still own it?
Look at this one. Touch each other, and you have to be real careful with electric wires.
Fine.
Okay.
Will Rogers. I wanted to...
Dad,
we'll take him to the doctor.
You can reach out and touch. See him right there.
Why
Isn't he
is
pretty?
why is he up pretty?
Well, they live where there's got to be some. Look, right here. That
Yeah,
pretty.
why
Look at their. All these in. They just didn't brace them. You know, they just.
There must be some lot lost.
Typical.
Oh, your car's made it?
Their car didn't do too well either, did it?
No.
See, a lot of
It
people.
looks like it's look back. Like, oh, look at that tree.
That corner of that, you can't see it. I should have got you. That got it bad. That's slow. See, that's right on the wall. The ocean is right out here. Yeah, if you look carefully.
Day 2, we had a really good time playing. So we'll have to show you.
Head too. Don't hit him on the head with that.
You put snow on my head.
Yeah, but you did more than put snow on his head. You hit his head with a shovel.
I know that was the accident.
That's what you. Well, you don't want to do that.
I know that was just an accident.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't mean it didn't hurt Robert.
What?
That doesn't mean that it didn't hurt Robert. What's John doing? Should I worry about it?
Batteries?
Backwards, because you're looking at it backwards.
John.
I got my brain backwards. But I have my brain backwards. I think Lars and you can scoop it up.
I'm trying to think it has some on it. Because it's backwards.
Where's our line in there?
Hey, go pull the sled though. Let me take a picture. Stop pulling the sled.
Dad, there's enough snow to go sledding.
Is there?
Look out. Put your foot in the snow. See how deep it is.
Maybe what you guys ought to get is the other sleds and go down that corner. I'll go down there with you, okay?
Okay, just step in.
I can tell from your feet. Oh, it didn't work.
Back up to there.
Okay, Robert, go.
No, don't stand on it. Don't stand.
Try first going.
Go ahead and do it. I said I would.
Don't you want to put your boots on?
Mom, you know how the movie they said it's a blue rain is on that rain is walking so
Yeah,
No,
hurricane.
we haven't been in.
No, we had a hurricane in Jersey. Those two right-handed girls are still living down the block.
I know, but we didn't have 90-mile-an-hour winds.
In the storm, but not the wind. If I put this tape on, this is our house during the blizzard. day after the storm. Solid ice on the driveway. Blowing. Blowing snow. That's a nice fort. Tell me what it is so we have it on tape. An igloo? Where'd you make it? Where?
Over there.
Where's here? What house are you in?
Daddy, come over here. Dad, over here.
Wait.
John, this is over 200 years old. We got 105. Maybe first. I hurt my wiener 3 times. 2 times when I was going down. Every time one, I hurt my wiener. Ouch. Oh yeah, how come?
What do you like better, the snow or the ice?
I like
Snow or the swimming, brother?
what?
Is this where your cousins are up here from Florida?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I'm not know. What is that? I do not know.
Oh, we're running out of tape.
What tape?
Oh, it's the day after the storm. Monday. Starting off, huh?
Critical year in the history of the company, and you couldn't tell from chairing a stockholders meeting what is portends for the whole year. But I think he's on the right track, and I think his leadership was showing.
Experts say today was Gerstner's first test, and he seems to have done well. But they say he has to answer a lot more questions before he gets a passing grade. Karen Ryan, NBR, Tampa, Florida.
The airline industry has its fare wars. Now, cigarette wars are hitting the tobacco industry. RJR Nabisco says it plans to cut prices on its Winston and Camel brands to compete with a similar move by Philip Morris for Marlboro. However, RJR says the action should not impact its earnings as much as Philip Morris, since the price cuts will only be effective for the month of June. RJR stock today closed unchanged at 5 3/4.
A weak dollar-cent gold price is sharply higher for the second session in a row. Gold prices were also spurred when British financier Sir James Goldsmith sold a 10% stake in Newmont Mining and used the proceeds to buy gold bullion. Gold rose $6.30 an ounce, platinum held steady, and silver jumped 11 cents an ounce. Boris Yeltsin's apparent victory in the Russian referendum sent the dollar lower against the German mark. The greenback also slipped against the yen and gave up more than 3/4 of a cent against the British pound.
Having lost almost 65 points on the Dow Industrial Average last week overall, the stock market was due for a little technical rebound, and indeed it opened a bit higher this morning, getting some added help from news that Boris Yeltsin won the Russian voters' support in the weekend referendum. In a slow but steady advance, the Dow posted a 10 1/4 point gain by 11:30 this morning, but about 60 more stocks were down than up. And that disappointing market breadth, along with falling bond prices, blunted the blue chip rally. And as computer sell programs kicked in, the whole market took a turn for the worse in mid-afternoon, with the industrial average down almost 18 points at 3 o'clock. The final hour brought some slight recovery in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which cut its closing loss to 15.40, putting it at 3398.37. So we closed the day about 27.25 points below the best level and up about 11 from the low of the session. Trading volume today picked up to 281.1 million shares, and more than twice as much down volume as up volume. The transport index really took it on the chin, down 37.5 points. The airlines particularly hard hit, and some of the cargo carriers were too. The rails held fairly steady. Utilities down 1/4 point, and the closing tick slightly bearish, -67. Standard & Poor's 500 down 3.5 points, or nearly so. The 100 off over 2.5 points. Similar loss in the mid-cap 400. The Commodity Research Bureau index was up a rather big 1.29 points. New York Stock Exchange index dropping nearly 2 points, almost a 3-point drop on the value line. And the Wilshire 5000 took a hit, dropping almost 42.5 points. After moving broadly lower last Friday, the bond market continued to lose ground today, partly because of a further erosion in the value of the U.S. dollar, and partly because of the rather large supply of forthcoming government debt issues. And the rise in the price of gold was another negative for the credit markets. Both corporate and tax-free issues ended the day with 1/4 point losses. Longer-term governments closed down 1/2 point on average, like the 30-year Treasuries dropping exactly that much, bringing the yield up to 6.83%. Shearson Lehman Long Bond Index down just over 7 points, and Fed funds moved up to 3.125%. Later on, I'll show you where the action was on Wall Street today. Cassie?
Paul, dreary winter weather pushed sales of existing homes down for the 3rd straight month. The National Association of Realtors says overall home sales dropped 2.9% last month. That compares with the revised 8.5% decline in February. Nevertheless, analysts say the bad weather has merely postponed sales until spring. A survey of manufacturing businesses shows confidence in the economy slipping for the 2nd month in a row. The poll of 400 companies is conducted by Connors Economics. It blames the decline on weakness in the economy and uncertainty about the effects of the Clinton administration's economic policies. As the president nears his 100th day in office, Republican congressional leaders are stepping up attacks on his performance. At a news conference today, Republicans said they would oppose any effort to increase taxes until Democrats cut spending.
We're working on a package that will satisfy the American people. We're here to reflect the views of the American people. We thought that's what Bill Clinton was going to do. We had a great opportunity as a new Democrat. Unfortunately, sometime between the election and the inauguration, somebody got a hold of him.
In 100 days, we passed a budget which will reduce the deficit by $500 billion and more, and increase our investment in jobs and technology, and move this country into the future. I think that's a pretty good beginning.
The president says he'll continue to try to reach out to Republicans, but he adds they can't continue to call for deficit reduction while rejecting the plans that have been offered.
President Clinton called Russian President Boris Yeltsin today to congratulate him on his victory in yesterday's national referendum. While the final vote isn't in, it appears 60% of those who went to the polls voiced confidence in Yeltsin, and nearly as many backed his economic reforms. Simon Marks has more from Moscow.
Presidential advisors said the level of support for Russia's economic reforms surprised even Boris Yeltsin, and economists hailed the result as well.
I think it's the best and the strongest surprise of this referendum. I mean, it's a common knowledge that Russian people are patient, but still this was a surprise.
24 hours after the polls closed, Western computer companies were opening a trade fair in the heart of Moscow. Foreign investors were banking on the referendum to provide much-needed stability for the international business community. And they say the early results suggest they've got it.
He's got the vote of confidence, and he's got the support for the reforms. Nobody's necessarily saying that the current reforms are the correct ones, that they're moving at the right speed, but they're happening, and I think we all believe that we're better off with this move.
But even as Boris Yeltsin's Western supporters were celebrating the results, there were warnings of possible problems ahead for the Russian leader. In his best-case scenario, he'll still hold fresh parliamentary elections later this year. But some economists say the president may have made too many promises on the campaign trail to ensure him long-term political security. Analyst Alexander Bevs says Boris Yeltsin's talk of land reform and fresh social programs could prove problematic later.
There is a danger that by the time when he'll be facing his crucial political test in elections, probably by late autumn, the economic situation can deteriorate exactly of the steps he has taken recently to provide for his current political victory.
Whether the president's political victory proves short-lived will now depend on his next steps as he tries to capitalize on the referendum and move against his political opponents. Simon Marks, NBR, Moscow.
And still ahead on our program, we'll have Linda O'Brien's interview with the Sage of Omaha, Warren Buffett.
Boeing's first quarter profits fell 23% from a year ago to $325 million. The aircraft manufacturer attributed the decline to weakness in commercial aircraft and defense and space equipment. Boeing expects sales to be higher in the second quarter due to the timing of commercial jet deliveries. But Paul, Boeing still expects earnings for 1990